I have always grown up in the church. I don't really remember a time that I wasn't a believer. And so I think that shapes a lot in my life. But I know that just over time, that God has used different moments, different struggles, different things to bring me closer to Him. And the first one and the biggest one of my biggest testimonies of my life is my daughter. And the more clearly, it was the waiting for my daughter. So my husband and I, we had the amazing blessing of the first time not trying, we got pregnant. And so I was overjoyed. I was excited. I was surprised, but, I wasn't surprised because I'm in holistic medicine. I am a doctor of chiropractic. I do acupuncture, nutrition. So I'm in that natural world of things. And so, take care of your body, good things happen type thing. So, I was just overjoyed and just in utter awe of creation and of this new little life being formed in my womb. And so just every morning in my prayer times, I was connecting with my new little baby. And it was only, a couple weeks in, but I already just felt this deep bond. And so imagine my surprise when one of the days when I'm heading into work, I go in the bathroom and there's blood and there's spotting. It was like the cartoon characters of the things like where a rock being thrown into a mirror, just that shattering. For me, it was just my image of myself being just infallible and just there's nothing that could happen to my baby was just shattered. And I was just devastated. And then God in His mercy, my first patient was one of my friends. And so she saw me and she's like, something's up, like what's going on? And she just leaned in. And she just took care of me, which was just incredible. Again, God in His mercy knew. And so I just started just praying with my child and doing everything I could that I knew in my power to just protect my child and just to maintain this pregnancy. And then my husband and I went to the rodeo on that the day after that. And it was there that I knew or figured I had a miscarriage. I felt all the cramping. I felt all the things. I didn't tell him as much at the time. I wanted to enjoy our date night, but I knew. And so afterward, I kind of just told him my suspicions, and my heart was heavy, but I was just leaning on God and trusting Him. And that next morning, or we had kind of decided that, that next morning, if things were still kind of looking at that route, that we would go to the ER, we'd go to just urgent care to confirm or to see what's going on. So that next morning, I was in the shower and I was just praying, Lord, protect my child. Protect the one in my womb. I love them so much already. But your will be done. And in that moment, when I was getting out of the shower, I felt that peace that passes all over understanding wash over me. And it was so beautiful. And I can't put words to it besides saying that, but it just is one of those that I just knew in that moment that no matter what happened that day, that everything was going to be okay. And so we decided to go to the ER, and I went, had the testing done, and it was confirmed that I had a miscarriage. And, I was devastated. But at the same time, I was at peace in a weird way. I responded in a way that wasn't me. It wasn't me falling apart. It wasn't just the shattering of things. I was brokenhearted. I was so sad, but I knew it was going to be okay. I knew I was fine. And I did never question God's love for me in that. And so it was in those grieving moments and in that time afterward that I remember, because my husband and I had a tournament that weekend we were supposed to go do, and we canceled it. We just huddled in together, just drew our wagons around and just comforted one another and just had a quiet weekend. And it was in those moments, in those musings, I just felt this knowledge, this just certainty that in a year I'd be with child or something, or, So naturally I was like, wow, we got pregnant, first time not trying. There's probably going to be a little in my arms. It means we're probably going to conceive right away. And so I I was, really excited for all my cycles, things like that. But then wouldn't you know that just month after month after month, my cycle would come. And then would begin my waiting journey. And it is one of those that was really what ended up testing my pride, showing me where I was putting my trust in. And so many things about my miscarriage are things that I would never trade. I would never ask for it again. I would never want it again. But the lessons I learned from it, I would never trade. I learned empathy and compassion for those who've gone through miscarriages because I've been there. I wouldn't say that I would ever blame someone for having a miscarriage, obviously. But before going through it myself, I thought it was even more of, diet, lifestyle, different other choices there. But for me, I knew after that it was God being merciful. God in His mercy took my little one home. And so I learned so many of these lessons I would never have learned without going through it myself. So I was very thankful for those things.